टेल मी कि क्या एजुकेशन करना पड़ता है टू बिकम अ प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर? सैलरी रेंजेस फॉर फ्रेशर्स एंड एक्सपीरियंस्ड, ताकि जो लोग हमने जितने रूमर्स सुने हैं कि प्रोडक्ट में बहुत पैसा है, सो मे बी दे विल हैव सम रियलिस्टिक एक्सपेक्टेशंस बिफोर गेटिंग इनटू दिस करियर। क्या कोई ऐसी स्पेसिफिक इंडस्ट्रीज हैं जो स्लाइटली हायर सैलरीज पे करती हैं? टेल मी एनी टूल्स दैट आई नीड टू लर्न टू गेट इनटू प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट। नमस्ते एवरीवन, वेलकम टू द क्यूरियस पॉडकास्ट। और आज का पॉडकास्ट डेडिकेटेड है प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट को। और आज के हमारे स्पेशल गेस्ट हैं सुहास मोटवानी। सुहास इज द co-founder of one of Asia's largest product communities, that is TheProductFolks, which is having around 180,000 members. That's pretty impressive. And currently he's building a suite of productivity app that is indistractable. I mean, if I've pronounce it correctly,
That's right.
which is having 1 million plus downloads organically. Can you even imagine? So I'm going to use it, once we are done with this podcast. But yeah, the Indistract app is for you to help with managing your distractions and improve your productivity. So earlier he was with PepsiCo, which is based in Europe, and is someone who is all about product, who breathes product and communities. So welcome to the show, Suhas. How are you doing today?
Thanks so much, Pooja. Pretty excited to chat with you today, and thanks so much for the invite. Really love the way you host these podcasts. So pretty excited to chat with you today.
So Suhas, the idea behind this podcast, this particular episode, is to help all the people out there who want to make a career in product management. I am an absolute noob to this field. Okay. So I'll start off with a caveat that I don't know anything about it. Whatever
That's
basic research I've done, please feel free to correct me. जो सबसे कॉमन मैंने थीम सुना है वो ये प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट में बहुत पैसा है कितना करेक्ट है वो वी आर हियर टू लिसन फ्रॉम यू बट लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग राइट are you working on any new projects or mean because I saw your Twitter आपने ट्विटर पे इतनी सारी चीजें लिख रखी हैं you've been part of so many things so are there any new projects in the pipeline that you are currently working on?
I think currently my focus is on building Indistractable. I think like you really interestingly introduced the app. I think we're almost hitting 1 million downloads on the Play Store. We're coming out with a version on iOS very soon, so I think all hands on deck there. Spent the last couple of months growing the app, learning about how to grow it organically on the Play Store. So I think lots of learnings there. But the idea there is to help the world be a little bit more distraction free. I think all of us want to be more productive. Unfortunately, I think billions and billions of dollars are spent every year just to get you hooked onto your phone, right? By social media apps. So we're here as an attempt to try fighting that and help you win back your time. That's where I'm currently focused on the product side. I think that is definitely one. Second, I think I really enjoy building communities. The product folks being the largest, I think this is currently one of the world's largest product communities. Within this, I think there are some very interesting initiatives coming through. One, like you shared, and maybe breaking into product is something that we've been helping a lot of folks do over the last couple of years. So happy to share some of the playbook, some of the resources that are useful for your audience as well. Second, I think moving up the stack, we now have exclusive community for founders, curated community for product leaders, for folks in fintech, for folks in Web3. So within the product folks ecosystem, now we've started a bunch of curated communities. So in 2024, I think in communities, our focus is to focus on these vertical communities, and we're also going global. So I think these are the focus on the community side.
Wonderful. हम प्रोडक्ट जो आपका ये प्रोडक्ट फोक्स वाला जो पूरा कम्युनिटी है इसके बारे में मैं एक्सटेंसिवली बात करना चाहती हूँ बट लेट्स स्टार्ट ऑफ विद द बेसिक्स ऑफ दिस पॉडकास्ट व्हिच इज अराउंड प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट. प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर क्या करता है?
I think the easiest way to explain this in today's world, आप कोई भी ऐप फोन whenever you pick up a phone, कोई भी ऐप खोल लो, right? On a day to day basis आप WhatsApp यूज करोगे, आप Instagram यूज करोगे, खाना मंगाने के लिए आप Zomato स्विगी यूज करोगे, राइट? यहाँ पॉइंट ए से पॉइंट बी जाने के लिए आप ओला उबर यूज करोगे, राइट? एनी ऐप सुबह से शाम जो भी मोबाइल पे इंटरफेस आप करते हो किसी भी ऐप के साथ, बड़ी ऐप हुई So every feature of it, someone needs to ensure that it's functioning smoothly, right? If it is a larger app, अगर
Okay.
कोई young startup है, तो from idea to going to an actual product, right? So imagine the first version of Uber, कैसे
Hmm.
from point A या Swiggy मान लो, right? कहीं से
Hmm.
खाना पिकअप हुआ और सही तरीके से कहीं डिलीवर हुआ, राइट?
Hmm.
दैट फर्स्ट वर्जन, राइट? तो दैट
Hmm.
इज एन अर्ली स्टेज ऐप में, अर्ली स्टेज कंपनी में जो बंदा या बंदी उस पर काम करता है, दैट इज द वर्क ऑफ अ प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर, जस्ट टू एंश्योर कि वॉट एवर द ऐप इज सपोज टू डू वो हो रहा. बड़ी कंपनियों में इट इज अबाउट इंश्योरिंग स्मूथ डिलीवरी कि हो रहा है सही से, एंड टू
Okay.
इंश्योर जो नए फीचर आ रहे हैं और कैसे ऑप्टिमाइज करें और कैसे इसको बेहतर किया जाए, दैट इज समथिंग बड़ी कंपनी में प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर्स करें. ऑल्सो बड़ी कंपनी में जो नए प्रोजेक्ट आते हैं, नए प्रोडक्ट्स आते हैं, दैट इज द वर्क ऑफ अ प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर. बट जो आइडिया से कॉन्सेप्चुलाइज करता है कि ये प्रॉब्लम
Hmm.
स्पेस है, ये प्रॉब्लम स्पेस को सॉल्व कैसे किया जाए यूजिंग टेक्नोलॉजी और विदाउट, that is the work of a product manager to ensure कि ठीक है, how do we go from a problem space to a solution and to ensure it is working correctly.
एक बहुत वियर्ड सवाल आया मेरे दिमाग में, क्या कभी ऐसे मैक्स आउट होता है कि अब सारे फीचर्स रेडी हो गए, सब कुछ रेडी हो गया, फिर तो काम खत्म हो जाएगा ना, like व्हाट्स देयर टू इम्प्रूव? ऑब्वियसली
नया
लाइक
प्रॉब्लम आ
मैनेज.
जाता है. The best part about that is I think there are enough problems in the world to solve. No, जब आप शुरू करते हो, for example, like let's take the same example of मान लो Uber या Ola, right? जब शुरू किए, they just wanted to get people from point A to point B, right? Very simple problem statement. And एक बार ऐप बन गया, अपने को हाँ this is solved, right? फिर क्या हुआ? They started adding कि ठीक है, we just did it earlier with cab rides, अभी हमने क्या किया, प्रीमियम सेगमेंट ला दिया, इकोनॉमिकल सेगमेंट ला दिया, टू व्हीलर ला दिया, देन कभी कभार आपको
ऑटो.
बाद में ऑटो आ गया, हेलीकॉप्टर आ गया, राइट? फिर ट्रांसपोर्ट हो गया, तो फिर फूड आ गया, राइट? यू वुड सी दैट उबर में टुडे यू कैन, उबर ईट्स आ गया था, राइट? विच वाज
या.
इन द यूएस इज वन ऑफ अ बिग सेगमेंट फॉर देम. आई थिंक ऐसे प्रॉब्लम स्पेस एक्सपैंड होते जाता, एंड विद इन द सेम it you will reach a point, right? जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल Amazon, when they started with just books, फिर
या.
from books they went on, like everything is today available on Amazon. फिर जोग्राफीज एक्सपैंड हुए, फिर हर जोग्राफी में है. देन दे फिगर आउट कि ठीक है, और एक्सपैंड क्या करे, AWS इज टुडे कैश जनरेटिंग, राइट? जब
या.
शुरू किए थे, दे वुडंट हैव थॉट कि हम क्लाउड कंप्यूट में जाएंगे, राइट? आई
करेक्ट.
थिंक प्रॉब्लम स्पेसेस आर एनॉर्मस, कभी आई थिंक रुकते नहीं. जैसे आपने इंडिया में भी आई थिंक रिलायंस पकड़ लो, राइट? वेयर दे स्टार्टेड कहाँ, ऑयल रिफाइनरी से, टुडे दे आर इन एवरी नूक एंड कॉर्नर. आप कौन सा भी पकड़ लो, डेटा आपके फोन पे रिलायंस के थ्रू आता है, कुछ भी आप पकड़ लो. सो आई थिंक इट इज एन एवर एक्सपैंडिंग फील्ड. कभी आई थिंक देयर विल नेवर बी अ टाइम जहाँ पे सब चीज सॉल्व हो जाए. आइडियल स्टेट में यस, बट आई थिंक नॉट इन योर्स और माय जनरेशन.
करेक्ट, वी आर नॉट टॉकिंग ऑफ एन यूटोपियन वर्ल्ड हियर.
Utopian world, yeah.
राइट. um सो टेल मी कि क्या एजुकेशन करना पड़ता है टू बिकम अ प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर? इंजीनियरिंग या फिर कोई कॉमर्स का स्टूडेंट भी लेटर ऑन अपने करियर में प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट को पिक कर सकता है?
I think हमने community में जो देखा है, there no one path to product management. We've seen a journalist become a product manager. We've seen a author become a product manager. We've seen a psychology graduate become a product manager. Of course, in many traditional transitions, you see, किसी ने engineering करके MBA करके product manager कर लिया. I think that that is definitely one path to it. And because in a country like India, I think बहुत सारे लोग इंजीनियर बनते हैं, बहुत सारे लोग एमबीए में जाते हैं, तो यू सी दैट in and around you, right? But that is definitely not just the only part to become a product manager. I don't think the background matters as much. I think
ओके.
anyone can become a product manager, but there are certain skill sets that are necessary to excel at the job. वो चीजें, I think that is something that everyone needs to start focusing on more. It is not about this certification will help me or that particular course will help me. It is more on, hey, what is the role of a product manager entail? How do I equip myself? And if you're looking to break into product, then consider that as a separate skill set, right? Interviewing for product manager role is a separate skill set, right? First
ओके.
acknowledge that, and prepare well for interviews. I think if you really nail that, and if you have high agency, I think initial, that is what a lot of early stage product manager roles really look for. There will always be some opportunities that are slightly more gated, slightly more exclusive. And maybe if you're looking for a more traditional path, yes, definitely do an MBA and get in. That's a good path to get in, but it's not a necessary path.
ओके। तो जो आपने मेंशन करा कि जर्नलिस्ट, साइकोलॉजिस्ट, इन लोगों ने भी प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट को एज़ अपना करियर ऑप्शन चूज़ किया। सो व्हाट इज़ द वे आउट हियर? मेरा एजुकेशन जर्नलिज्म में है, फाइनेंस में है, अब मैं कैसे पिवट करूँ इस प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट के करियर की तरफ?
So I'll give you an example. Figure out what the role of a product manager is, and
हुँ,
see if this is something that excites you. That is number one, right?
ओके,
Don't get into it just because there are so many blogs and so many reels and YouTube videos saying कि हाँ product management is hot, तो आप कर लो. Because there are, in today's day and age, in 2024, there are more than enough people who are trying to get into product, right,
या,
than the number of jobs available, right? That is the truth
हुँ,
of the market today, right? So it's not कि हाँ कल आपने बोल दिया I want to become a product manager, the path is कि ठीक है हाँ परसों आपको interview मिल जाएगा. That is not the path. In all
करेक्ट,
honesty, for every role there are enough, and you can check, there is data to say this. Open up LinkedIn jobs, see any product manager role that interests you in the company that interests you. If it has come out in the last 1 week, just see the number of applications, right? If it's a good company, आपको मिनिमम 1,000 एप्लीकेंट्स ऐसे ही दिखेंगे, राइट, विदाउट एनीथिंग एल्स.
हुँ,
एंड मे बी लिंक्डइन प्रीमियम में नंबर भी दिख जाता है आपको, राइट? सो यू कैन
या,
एक्चुअली जस्ट enable a free trial and you can see कितने applications हैं वहाँ पे.
करेक्ट,
So first thing is that okay, hey, it's a competitive space to get into today.
ओके,
Very different from the last couple of years where it was very nascent in India.
हुँ,
Second, like, based on your background, there will always be some opportunities that you will be suited to, right? So, for example, if you come from finance, you're probably great at numbers. You're probably great at certain type of product. There might be people who are building products for CFOs, for example, right? Or for example, CA prep के लिए किसी ने software बनाना है, like the edtech
करेक्ट,
platform बनाना है, example,
हुँ,
right?
हुँ,
So, is that something you might be a little more interested in because you come with certain subject matter expert, right?
हुँ,
Um, आइडिया, लाइक आई शेयर्ड अर्लियर, प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर का काम क्या होता है? लाइक, आइडेंटिफाई अ प्रॉब्लम स्पेस, फिगर आउट व्हाट आर सम वेज दैट यू कैन सॉल्व दिस, एंड हाउ डू यू गेट टू दैट मास इन द सेंस, हाउ डू यू गेट द प्रोडक्ट इन द राइट सेट ऑफ पीपल, उनके हाथों में कैसे प्रोडक्ट लिया जाए, राइट? सिंपल. Now, early stage, if you're looking and you're not from like this traditional background, जहाँ पे नहीं आ रहा, there
करेक्ट,
are certain steps that you need to climb to get in, right? Tomorrow, for
हुँ,
example, everyone wants to get into Google as a product manager, right?
हुँ,
Highly competitive. Maybe you might not be able to get there today, right? And again, data to back this, go on LinkedIn, go to the search section, search for product manager, put a filter for Google, put a filter for India. आपको जो पहले 20 प्रोफाइल आएंगे, go through those profile, see their pedigree, see their history, you'll be able to find a pattern, right?
या,
Many of these you'll see come from top tier MBA colleges, and that's why the whole notion in the industry started कि ठीक है MBA is required both ways, right? उनको shortlist करने के लिए they put MBA as a criteria because of course Google के लिए सब काम करना चाहते हैं. HR doesn't have time to go through 10,000 profiles, तो उन्होंने filter डाल दिया, right? And same आपने देखा होगा lot of profiles में IIT grad रहना चाहिए या ऐसे कोई
या,
pedigree डाल देते हैं. Those are just ways to shortlist, simple, right? So shortlisting for pedigree essentially means कि इन्होंने पहले हार्ड वर्क किया है, they have proved their IQ, right? They've
या,
got good marks, they proved their IQ. That is all it matters, right? After that, it's a level playing field. Now think of it, if you are, say, not coming from this pedigree, there is someone from pedigree who is also applying for the same role, you are also applying for the same role, right? Put yourself in the hiring manager's shoes.
हुँ,
If he is seeing these two profiles or she is seeing these two profiles,
या,
what would make them choose your profile over the other? That is the
हुँ,
question. Long answer, but it comes down to this, right?
हुँ,
Now here is where your journey starts. कि ठीक है, maybe should I be directly getting that opportunity, or do I have a right to win somewhere, right?
हुँ,
Imagine growing up, or a couple of years back, you had some industry experience or some internships you've done, right? Say you're getting right out of college,
हुँ,
or say for example, growing up, you're a really good dancer, musician, sports, कहीं ना कहीं एक interest रहेगा, right? So that could be a
हुँ,
right to win. I'm saying very early opportunities. If you're
हुँ,
mid career, then you've already had some industry experience, right?
राइट,
But very early, try figuring out somewhere where you have, yeah, maybe you just love, for example, watching anime, or you love watching movies, or you You need to figure out somewhere where you have a little bit more interest, because then what you'll do, then you'll go the extra step, right?
Hmm.
मान लो मेरे को इंटरेस्ट है क्रिकेट में, राइट?
Hmm.
आई माइट लुक एट, से ईए स्पोर्ट्स का ऐप, या गेमिंग साइड में मैंने कुछ देख लिया, लाइक
Hmm.
ड्रीम 11 कुछ देख लिया मैंने अपॉर्चुनिटीज। कहीं ना कहीं मैंने फॉर एग्जांपल ये,
Crick buzz.
हाँ, कोई कोई ऐप रहता है जहाँ पे क्रिकेट का स्कोर दिखते रहता है, एग्जांपल
Yeah.
दे रहा हूँ आपको,
Crick
राइट?
buzz. Hmm.
Inherent interest. How will I look at this app, play around with this app, and how will I make it better?
Hmm.
उसका मैंने छोटा सा
Hmm.
एक मेमो बना लिया. I reach
Correct.
out on LinkedIn or on email, figure out who is working at that place. I send it across. I try breaking ice with that person कि मेरे को ये बहुत पसंद आया आपके ऐप में, बट आई फील लाइक ये और रह सकता था,
Hmm.
राइट? देन यू नोटिस कि ठीक है, इनका एपीएम पोजीशन भी अवेलेबल है. यू सेंड समथिंग फर्दर दैट इफ आई वर टू अप्लाई फॉर दिस, आई वुड फोकस ऑन 1 2 3 4, लाइक एक मिनी पीआरडी में लिख ही लेता,
Hmm.
and then I reach out. Now tell me, if you've shown so much interest on something, at least that person will, and you have to be like fairly decent at it, right? And there's enough resources today, so no excuse. You basically done a mini app
Hmm.
teardown. You've given him or her कि मेरे को
Hmm.
ये आपके ऐप में मिसिंग लग रहा, ये मैं काम करके, दिस इज समथिंग, तो मिनी पीआरडी आप भेज ही दे रहे हो इवन बिफोर यू हैव बीन गिवन दैट पोजीशन, राइट?
Hmm.
अभी आप
Okay.
बताओ, इफ आई एम अ हायरिंग मैनेजर, किसी ने मेरे को ये भेजा एंड एक साइड मेरे पास पेडिग्री है. Some roles are very very strict, so maybe I might not be able to hire you, which is okay.
Okay.
Maybe you don't meet the hiring criteria, but in most early to growth stage companies, right, you will at least be able to open up a door for you कि ठीक है, I might
Hmm.
get 5 minutes to chat. As a
Hmm.
PM or a hiring manager, I need someone who's curious about it, who's someone, मैंने देखा कि इस person में थोड़ा high agency है. He's gone out of the, she's gone out of the way, right? Spent 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, gone through my app, given me feedback, seen something. I'll at least have a conversation. कि how was that person thinking? That is
Hmm.
what you need to do to break the ice in case you don't come from pedigree. I'm just giving you one
Right.
example, right? There are hundreds
Hmm.
of such examples. You need to create that opportunity for you. This is one way to create that opportunity. There are many other ways to create opportunities, right?
Right.
But try building that relationships early, hone your product skills even before you get a role. Imagine after doing this, he or she gives me an opportunity to interview, right? When
Hmm.
I get that opportunity, I should be 100% ready to crack it. So the
Hmm.
opportunity मिलने से पहले 3 महीने पहले your prep should start, interview prep should start,
Correct.
right? So that if in case they are giving you an opportunity, कल ठीक है, okay, I will connect you to my HR, let's set up a call. तब तो
Hmm.
आप प्रिपरेशन नहीं शुरू कर सकते, because then there's no point of this, right? So all of
Right.
these things help you in opening doors, जो आप networking बोलते हैं, जो आप ये सब skills बोलते हैं, या ऐसे चीजों में, like these are just unique ways for you to get that opportunity. There's
Hmm.
a very very nice book called The Third Door by Alex, right?
Okay.
उसमें I think you'll get a lot more ideas like this. I don't know if something similar, but you'll get a lot more ideas वहाँ पे. So these are ways to
Hmm.
get that opportunity in case you don't come from pedigree, right?
Hmm.
But minute
Right.
you get it, I think today there are enough resources for you to crack the product interview, and there's no excuse for that. Right? I know it's a
Right.
very long answer, but I hope that some of the members listening into this get a fair idea that MBA is not the only route to get into product. There are tons and tons of great product managers without pedigree.
नहीं, बहुत रियलिस्टिक आंसर था. इट वाज एक्चुअली अ स्टेप बाय स्टेप अप्रोच दैट यू हैव एक्चुअली गिवन कि किस तरीके से प्रॉब्लम्स फाइंड करनी है. यू नीड टू हैव अ स्केप्टिकल माइंडसेट, एक इम्प्रूवमेंट का माइंडसेट होना चाहिए कि नहीं, एक जो है सिर्फ उसको यूज कर लिया, बट यू शुड रादर think about how can I enhance my own experience if I were to create this sort of app,
Correct.
and then converting that problem statement into a solution and then presenting it. I think you have covered each and every step very thoroughly. um, मुझे यहाँ पर ये पूछना है कि ठीक है, ये काफी हैंड्स ऑन लग रहा है दैट आई कैन गो एंड रीच आउट, बट स्टिल मुझे एक लाइक if I say that I am an organized learner, I like to learn in structures. ये तो जो आपने अभी स्ट्रक्चर शेयर किया, दैट इज मोर फॉर
जी.
पीपल हु आर वेरी हैंड्स ऑन, जिन्हें अच्छा लगता है खुद से टिंकर करना.
जी.
बट फॉर ऑर्गेनाइज लर्नर्स, क्या आप कोई कोर्सेज या कोई सर्टिफिकेशन फ्री और पेड कुछ भी सजेस्ट कर सकते हैं जिससे
जी.
उनको हेल्प मिल जाए टू एटलीस्ट गेट स्टार्टेड?
Ji, ji, ji. So I think in product folks, we generally structure it, or we suggest ki take it as a three-part approach, right? One is your learning, one is your mentorship, and one is your job slash networking, right? Three-step
Hmm.
या four-step approach आप लो. Whether you do it simultaneously or you do it one after the other, doesn't
Hmm.
matter, based on your appetite. I think fundamentals के लिए we have something called the Product Folks Academy, जहाँ पे we
Okay.
have product management fundamentals, product management intermediate, product management advanced, right? तीनों है. Start with the beginner bit, then move to intermediate, move to advanced. इसमें कोई topics आपको पता रहेंगे, कोई नहीं रहेंगे, but interview prep के लिए ये बहुत बहुत useful रहता. Post which move to the mentorship angle. So we've launched a platform called Ally. Every month we do a drop 10 mentor के साथ. This is also
Acha.
completely free, but limited slots, right? So we I think the next one's coming in April. So
Okay.
there are very limited slots. Community badi ho gayi hai, so sometimes it becomes hard to get those slots. The idea is कि ठीक है, you've done some prep on your own. You need some finishing touches, some guidance. या कभी कोई
Okay.
interview लग गया, how do I tackle this? Just general guidance के लिए it's always good to connect with someone who's been there, done that, right? Just for that,
Hmm.
but don't go do that without doing. So we suggest that आजकल there's enough material available, either via product folks या without, that you cannot go to someone and ask them कि how do I crack product management interview. इसका बहुत material already available है. फ्री में चाहिए, पेड में चाहिए, बहुत सारे पेड कोर्सेज भी हैं if you want to join. हमारे में usually I think it's completely free. Academy के लिए I think certificate के लिए we charge, but that's still very nominal compared to paid courses.
Hmm.
um, but the idea is okay, like structured learning chahiye, so that is one part that you can do.
Hmm.
And as part of this only, there are weekly assignments, you can finish that. Her month we do a tear down, right? We take an app, so you take part. It's like a case study competition. Every month we tie up, and it's a month long competition. So what we do is, once you finish these two layers, यूजुअली प्रेप टाइम 2-3 महीने लग जाते हैं. तो ये 2-3 महीने में यू कैन फिनिश 3 tear downs, तो आपका पोर्टफोलियो भी बन जाता है, राइट? यू गेट सम
Okay.
प्रोडक्ट्स एंड, तो मैं आपको बोल रहा था ना कि यू कैन ब्रेक डाउन एन ऐप एंड रीच आउट. ये हम हर महीने फॉर द लास्ट 25 months वी बीन ऑर्गेनाइजिंग एट प्रोडक्ट फोक्स, राइट? 1000 बच्चे every month take part in this, whether they're already PMs, whether they're senior PMs, whether they're new to product management, everyone takes part. And last May we have like a nice little demo day that happens. We've been doing this for
Oh.
more than 2.5 years. So इसमें whoever wins gets a chance to interview at the company also. So regardless if you win or not, तीन आपके portfolio भी बन गया. Last is where the networking and the job opportunities come. So every month across 25 cities globally, we
Hmm.
organize an offline event, which is essentially where you can
Oh.
come meet product managers. That is one way to do it. And we have something called grabchai.online, which is the online version of matchmaking. So we connect you
Okay.
to one other person in our community who might not be in product management.
Okay.
And the last bit is the job opportunities. So we have a free job board, which is, you keep, if you subscribe to our Slack, वहाँ पे एक channel है. Every day
Hmm.
there are at least 3-4 opportunities that keep coming there. And
Hmm.
मेरे को at least week में 4-5 ऐसे messages आ जाते हैं कि आपके Slack में ऐसे job opportunity आई थी, हमने apply किया, हमें मिल गया, thanks so much. But this is all community driven. It's not, you know,
Yeah.
मेरा इसमें I think starting with thoda once in a while, if I come across some opportunity, I post it, but it's largely driven by the community. So I think
Community.
5 steps up manlo, but a lot of this can go hand in hand, right? Even
Hmm.
like I shared, I think product management is a lifelong career. Never will you find someone, even जो 10-20 साल से कर रहे product management, you never find any product leader come and tell कि सब पता है मेरे को. Like for example, अभी we were hosting a head of product from Google Pay, right?
Okay.
He's probably been a CPO earlier. He's been with very, very nice companies in the past. 15
Hmm.
साल से product management कर रहे हैं. And
Hmm.
till date, he still has a diary where if he comes across a product, मान लो, that day I think he was sharing about a consumer app he was playing around with on his phone. He's broken it down कि अगर I was a PM there, what would I think through, पूरा you know notes बना लिए थे. And he does this as a regular अभी भी, right? 15 साल बाद. So that just keeps him on top. उनका product sense improve होते रहता है. So if he can do it, why can't we, right? अपना तो habit बनना चाहिए इस पे. I think it just boils down to curiosity. But structured
Hmm.
approach में we have these 5 things available within the community. Now whether you do it within the community, you do it outside, that is your way of like figuring out. But all of these things will help you, right? Lifelong the education will continue. Mentors is not a formal thing, right? You meet interesting people who are ahead of you. You think you can learn from them, they think they can learn
Okay.
with you. वो relationship is important. And networking ka other word is also relationships, right? Can you really meet interesting people, build relationships? that will lead you to opportunities. जो आप जब नहीं ढूंढ रहे, you will get interesting opportunities based on these relationships. So go without expectation. 3 4 6 12 महीने ये कर लिया, then you will get into that mode of doing it. So that's the way we
Hmm.
enjoy doing it within the community.
Hmm.
It's a lifelong journey and सब साथ में grow हो रहे. So I think this is something we
That's
suggest in a more structured approach.
right. I think like networking is just an ice breaking for building a long term relationship. तो
Correct.
networking
Correct.
से सिर्फ first step है. उसके बाद
Correct.
actually में you have to nurture the relationship for
Exactly.
long enough to actually, I mean, reap the benefits नहीं, but हाँ एक mutual benefit जो भी सामने वाला या फिर आप ले सकें उनसे. So
जी जी जी.
completely get it. So career progression कैसे रहता है इसका? Like product manager तो I believe is one of the positions.
Yeah.
So if I have to be into product management, what are
Yeah.
the positions that I will have to go through,
Yeah.
and how is the progression like?
Got it. So you usually enter as a product intern or APM or a product analyst based on which company you're joining. I think 3 positions that you get into. कभी कभी lateral entries via business analyst, data analyst, designing. A lot of them transition software engineers. They transition into product. Once you're into product, then based on company, I think slight differences. But product manager, senior product manager, group product manager, post which AD, associate director, director, VP, CPO. Right. यहाँ पे आई
Hmm.
थिंक बीच में कभी प्रोडक्ट मैनेजमेंट लीड, हेड ऑफ प्रोडक्ट, ऐसे रोल्स आ जाते.
Hmm.
बट
Hmm. Hmm.
लार्जली द प्रोग्रेशन इज पीएम, एसपीएम, जीपीएम, प्रोडक्ट
Okay.
लीड और एडी, डायरेक्टर, वीपी, एसवीपी, सीपीओ.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
एंड डिपेंड्स ऑन द साइज ऑफ द कंपनी, कुछ रोल स्किप हो जाते, बट लार्जली
Hmm.
प्रोग्रेशन इज दैट.
Got it. Got it. And can you also give us salary ranges for freshers and experienced, ताकि जो लोग हमने जितने rumors सुने हैं कि product में बहुत पैसा है, so maybe they'll have some realistic expectations before getting into this career.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, see, if you come out of it's very similar to software engineering roles, right? I think it's not
Yes.
about कि बहुत पैसा है. By end of the day, you have to realize that product जो ship होता है, that is a teamwork between software engineers, designers, product managers, product marketers. If it's a B2B product, sales guys get involved. There is customer success. So it's a teamwork between all these members, right? अभी इसमें the one who's driving it is a product manager, and the ratio of product managers to engineers is not 1:1, right? For one product manager there will be 10 software engineers, there will be 15 software engineers, example,
Oh.
right? The ratio. So in that sense, if you think of it, uh, that is probably why it's harder to get product management roles. But also good product managers are well paid because of that, right? Because you need to coordinate with so many people, and there is a lot of onus on you to ship a product that succeeds, right? So that is
Correct.
why product managers are paid well. To give you a range, I think, see, this fluctuates with the market demand and supply. So in today's day and age, I think if you are aiming for opportunities at, say, a Flipkart, right,
Hmm.
you'd start off somewhere as an APM or an early PM, would get anywhere between, say, 18 to 22 lakhs, right?
Okay.
Slightly more with ESOPs, etc. Based on, I think, अभी थोड़ा बढ़ भी गया है, right? Post which, I think, every year with every transition, I think, based on your experience, based on where you're coming from, that progression increases, right? A mid-level PM will probably make 40 to 50 lakhs. A senior PM, maybe closer to your ADD roles will get 70 to 80 lakhs, and that progression definitely increases with
Hmm.
experience, right? But early
Hmm.
roles are, I think, again, depends very much on the company. Like, for
Yeah.
example, an APM at Flipkart will probably get paid well, but if you're joining an early stage startup, you might start off with slightly lower base comps.
Hmm.
But I think that's completely okay. Don't focus too much on salary. There
Hmm.
are online platforms, levels.fi, which will give you exact role के लिए कितना मिल रहा है अभी market में. But I think don't focus too much on that in your early days. Focus on the
Hmm.
kind of people you want to work with. Focus on the um, depth of the role, right? How much you
Hmm.
can contribute to it. Is it somewhere you really enjoy working? So focus on those bits. The money
Hmm.
will flow through.
Hmm. Right. Like, so to summarize कि जो प्रॉब्लम आपको पैशनेट लगती है, जिसको आप सॉल्व करना चाहते हैं, go for that. Don't like initially focus on salary too much, because if you get an expert at it, if you get an expert in finding out the right features and making constant improvement, money will follow, right?
100%, 100%, 100%.
Okay. But still, I mean, you have this community of 1,80,000 members. You speak to like different product managers on a day to day basis. क्या कोई ऐसी specific industries हैं जो slightly higher salaries pay करती हैं? Are there any specific sectors to look out for that pay higher salaries?
एक्चुअली इन डेप्थ हमने एक रिपोर्ट भी पब्लिश की है प्रोडक्ट फोक्स पे. इफ यू गो आउट देयर इज अ जॉब्स रिपोर्ट दैट इज आई थिंक अराउंड अ ईयर ओल्ड, तो थोड़ा डेटा माइट बी स्लाइटली डेटेड, बट यूल गेट द एग्जैक्ट. जो आपने इंडस्ट्री वाइज पूछा है, ईयर्स ऑफ एक्सपीरियंस वाइज पूछा है, आई गिव रेंजेस फॉर अर्ली मिड एंड लेट. बट वहाँ
Hmm.
पे आई थिंक लॉट्स ऑफ पीपल इन द कम्युनिटी itself have filled exact data points. So I think slightly dated, maybe 12 months ago. बट इफ़ यू रियली वांट टू गो इनटू कि ये इंडस्ट्री में अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ क्या हैं, या ये एक्सपीरियंस के लिए कितना मिल रहा है, अर्ली स्टेज वर्सेस लेट स्टेज में क्या डिफरेंसेस है, वी पब्लिश अ रिपोर्ट ऑन दैट. आई विल आल्सो गो थ्रू. मैंने भी देखा नहीं है काफ़ी टाइम से, सो आई डोंट हैव दोज नंबर्स ऑन द टॉप ऑफ माय माइंड, बट द रिपोर्ट हैज़ दीज बेंचमार्क्स, सो यू कैन एटलीस्ट गेज क्या हुआ है, एंड मे बी प्लस और
Right.
माइनस 10% बेस्ड ऑन मार्केट. बट आई कैन अश्योर यू दैट मिड लेवल ग्रेट प्रोडक्ट मैनेजर्स, उनका सैलरी कम तो नहीं हुआ है. सो दैट इज वन आई कैन टेल यू फॉर श्योर. जो भी
Hmm.
मार्केट हुआ, इट्स हार्डर टू ब्रेक इनटू प्रोडक्ट, yes, because
Correct.
there's a lot more liquidity, but
Hmm.
like good product managers are still paid really really well.
Hmm. Right. Uh, Ajay Suhas, since you have an extensive experience in product management itself, and you must have also interviewed a lot of freshers in your stint. So, what skills do you look for when you're hiring for your team, say an intern or a fresher?
When it's very very early, there are just three things that I look for. I think definitely like some sharpness, right? Be interesting, be someone that you can like. I always look to learn from. Even fresher ho, to I know there's something that you as a fresher can teach me. That's how I go into interviews. I don't go to say ki, what is it that you don't know, right? I'm not testing you for things you don't know. If you're
Right.
a fast learner, you will pick it up, right? I'm not expecting you as a fresher to know everything when you come into a job. That's not what I'm
Right.
expecting, right? But again, right, there is some baseline that has already been set by your peers, not by me, by your peers, right? There are
Hmm.
third year engineering kids or third year college kids, let's say, who are fairly good at product science, have done so many of these teardowns, have built their own products in college, have interned in three companies before coming and applying for a fresher role, right? So there's some form of professionalism in the way they communicate, in
Okay.
the way they write emails, in the way they write docs. So no excuses for that, right? These are just things you can practice. There's no um, formal training that you need from this, right? So that is one. Second, high agency, right?
Okay.
And high agency ka matlab, for those who are uninitiated to this particular term, is can you go above and beyond to do X? And I just probably want to know if you've done that in the past, right? This is
Hmm.
more of a personality trait. It's not
Okay.
something you're born with, but it's something that, based on the journey that you've had so far,
Yeah.
uh, there will be times that you have demonstrated this. So that is something that we look for very very early. And last one is, you should be a little bit curious to go above and beyond, right? It is not a role that someone will come and tell you ye karo and ye deliver karna hai. That is not a product manager's role. There has to be innate curiosity from your side. So I look for small traits of that within that interview, right? Even if it's a short interview, are there interesting questions they are asking you while they exit the interview? Are they coming out, jo product interview rehta hai, are they thinking in an interesting way, something that is slightly out of the box? So I think that curiosity is something that we look for. So early roles, I'd say just these three things. um, Baki, I think product management interviews have also become so structured, right? There's so much material about it. So I think I don't go too much by the resumes. Aajkal sab resumes GPT likhta hai, so there's no creativity in that. So I think, yes, if there is a different, I at least for early stage product roles, anyone who is doing something out of the box, I take a conversation. That's for sure.
कोई ऐसी सक्सेस स्टोरीज हैं जो आपको ध्यान में आ रही हो, जैसे आपने जर्नलिस्ट, साइकोलॉजिस्ट इन सबकी शेयर करी, बट एनी अदर स्टोरी दैट यू वांट टू कवर इन डिटेल ऑफ अ पर्सन हु हैव एक्सेल्ड in the career of product management?
अरे हमारे बहुत, लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल कल ही रात कोई ट्विटर पे कोई थ्रेड पे किसी ने मेरे को टैग किया, एंड समवन
Hmm.
एल्स रिप्लाइड ऑन दैट थ्रेड कि आई हैड शेयर्ड टीपीएफ का स्लैक लिंक विद अ कलीग ऑफ माइन saying that
Hmm.
join here, learn from them, and recently they broke into product and they were thanking on the thread. मतलब this is someone I haven't even spoken to earlier. ये कल रात की बात है, right? So you can go check Twitter, वो अभी भी है, right?
Hmm.
Apart from that, I think some very interesting success stories are also from our volunteers, right? As is a 100% volunteer led community, no one's full time on this.
Hmm.
There are some folks who come from very very different backgrounds, manlo, right? They haven't come from any tier 1 institution. There's someone who hadn't even studied in an English medium college, right?
Hmm.
And they are today, and then they had got a customer support role, right? And they had joined us
Hmm.
as a volunteer, was with us for a while, and today they're working in one of the leading companies, which otherwise, they feel like they wouldn't have gotten into without
Hmm.
these opportunities. So I think there are different paths to this, whether you're a member, whether you're a volunteer. I think there are lots and lots of these success stories to name. I think some of our volunteers are now working in companies like Cred and Freshworks and Zoho, Chargebee, Flipkart में अभी कोई गए, Polygon में there's someone working. So there are tons of these folks across Web2, Web3 companies in India. Uh, okay, I'll tell you, apart from everything else, why I'm probably suggesting about the volunteering bit is,
Hmm.
these folks started contributing without any expectation. They didn't come in
Correct.
saying that, okay, hey, I will get a job out of this, right? They came in
Hmm.
saying that, okay, hey, I have some free time on the side, I'll just contribute back, help in whichever way, right, to the community,
Hmm.
to people around. So that innate ability to give back before expecting anything. And yes, there are so many cases today, but जब हमने शुरू किया था, we didn't have any of these cases to share with you. But तब भी there were
Hmm.
these people who came, gave back, and then अभी क्या हो गया? Now we have a process कि if you are a volunteer, if you are contributing and helping people, couple of months down the lane, if you are looking out for an opportunity, we are there
Hmm.
to help you, right? अभी हमारा network थोड़ा strong हो गया. These are the
Hmm.
people that we want to help to ensure कि ठीक है, you are helping इतने लोग आगे, we are
Yeah.
here to support you, we are here to help you, right? And I think,
Hmm.
yeah, right now my focus is to help some of these older volunteers who actually helped a lot of people. I want to understand. I've been sitting down with some of them to understand where do they want to. Like everyone has some life aspirations, some career goals, right? And how can we really support them getting where they are? So I think जो आपने पूछा unique क्या चीज चल रही, some of these success stories is something that I want to share, and hopefully a lot more coming. So I think till date, I think we also have a page on some of these success stories on the landing page. But yeah, I think every week at least 5 messages I get on how, and that is what keeps us going, right? आपने पूछा, okay, how this has been going on for so long. It's just these stories that keep fueling you. आज कल मेरे को कोई मैसेज आ गया फॉर एग्जांपल, तो अभी वो नेक्स्ट 4 दिन वो दिमाग में रहेगा, सो देन दैट विल फ्यूल यू, तब तक दूसरा मैसेज आएगा, सो जस्ट कीप गेटिंग दैट फ्यूल.
That's amazing. That's so beautiful. I'll tell you why. Because usually, whenever we see that we have to sign up for a volunteering experience, it's more about the service, right? It's more about what you can bring to the table.
Yeah,
And there, you are obviously going without any expectation. And whatever, in my experience, I've seen it like this. People don't
yeah,
go with any expectation, but I mean, you are now saying that I am sitting with volunteers who have contributed a lot
yeah,
to understand how we can help them. That's
yeah,
so beautiful because I don't see that happening a lot around us, and I believe
yeah,
I wish more companies would do that. I think they would gain true loyalty
yeah.
if they are so thoughtful for the candidates who are supporting their cause.
Yeah, no, I think earlier we probably didn't have the bandwidth for this, like
Hmm.
because जब community छोटी है, even we didn't have इतना network या
Yeah.
success story नहीं थी, तो we cannot like promise कुछ आ गया तो great. But अभी I think we have enough, like within the community बड़ी हो गई, so we'll prioritize कि ठीक है इसको like ये चाहिए, so why don't we make this introduction? So I think in 2024 going forward, I think ये एक चीज पे definitely focus, and I'm sharing it with you, so then you can keep us accountable also, and hopefully next time we chat, I will have some more success stories from this to share with you as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Uh, So I think this is going to be my last question for this podcast. I won't take much of your time. Tell me any tools that I need to learn to get into product management.
See, to get into product management, you don't need to learn any specific tools, to be very honest with you.
Okay.
Most of the tools are something that you'll pick up on the go. But like I said earlier, I think the focus needs to be on, hey, two things, right? One is my product manager skill set, one is my product management interview skill set. I'm telling you, when you want to break
Hmm.
into product, right?
Hmm.
And this product management interview skill set, many people just skip through thinking, okay, hey, we'll get there. And it's also because you don't know the difference between the two, right?
Correct.
So ye dono alag kar do, and within that, add the third one, like I shared earlier. There is absolutely no point waking up every morning and applying to 10 roles on LinkedIn or on the career website, etc., right?
Right.
80% product roles get filled even before they come to the job board, right? As simple as that.
Hmm.
So try building genuine relationships, try being curious about roles that you are really passionate about.
Hmm.
When you get an opportunity, and you will get an opportunity, it's just a matter of time. When you get an opportunity, be ready to grab it, right? Go very, very strongly prepared to some of these interviews. The tools are something that you'll pick up over time, right? On a day-to-day basis, what are the tools you work? I don't think learning a specific tool will put you ahead of the rest that are applying to it.
Yeah.
Of course, working with engineering teams, working with design teams will slightly become easier. But those are all stuff that you can pick up on the go, right? For example, we have a within the academy, we have a product analytics course, for example, right? If you're
Hmm.
interested on the data side of things, go in depth on that. Then we have a
Hmm.
design for PM. So if you're interested in tools on designing, you can take up some of that. So follow that material, but I'd say initially, like, park that aside and just focus on breaking into product. Keep doing some of these product sense interviews, pick up some of the fundamental skill sets, right? If you go through some of these, we also have a YouTube, actually, in fact, there's a YouTube video by Shreyas Doshi on our TPF channel.
Okay.
I think that is one that covers a lot on skill sets and
Hmm.
what high agency, etc., is. So I think that is one video that might clear out, or if you want to go in depth on some of the stuff that I said, definitely watch that video. But yeah, I think the playbook that I shared earlier for early stage, yeah, tools is something that you can pick up on the go. Just focus on that 5-step approach, and yeah, DM me when you get a role, or if you're struggling, happy to help also. But yeah, follow these. If at all you, after doing all this, you don't get anything, then DM me. But I can assure you, 99% of the time you will not need to DM me. You can just send me a box of sweets when you get your role.
Yeah, with a message that thanks, I've been placed in this
Yeah.
company.
Yeah. I think lots of them are broken. So today I think this strategy definitely works. Try it till something new comes through, and Pooja and me will chat more about that when that happens.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's it. I think thank you so much. I believe we can cover a lot more. I mean, this is a never ending topic, but
Yeah.
thank you so much, Suhas, for taking our time and being so genuine throughout the conversation. I love that you are uh, very honest about कि क्या क्या चीजें खुद से हो सकती है और क्या क्या चीजें नहीं हो सकती, and you are very honest in telling कि see it's difficult to get into. Otherwise, if you were to just sell the community, you're like no, product is the new groundbreaking career. So thank you so much for that. I think that's what the audience truly appreciates, and hopefully we'll chat again. And guys, do follow Suhas on Twitter, do follow product folks community, become a part of it if product is something that you want to get into, and reach out to Suhas if you need any help. He was kind enough to reply me and do this conversation. I'm pretty sure. Be a part of the community, and you will definitely get some useful insights there. Thank you so
Thank,
much, Suhas.
Thanks so much, Pooja, for hosting. And I think you are a brilliant host to keep some of these pods going through as long as you can. Thanks so much once again for the invite, and all the best for the initiatives that you have coming as well. And we'll definitely chat soon. Yeah.
Thank you so much.